Sometimes you browse the internet to find out common aspects of the furry community. However, what about the points from our fandom that we already know and that you want to know a little deeper from? Hi everyone, this is Zaidi the Fox. On today's video, I want to talk about common aspects of the furry fandom that I generally don't find attractive or entertaining, but which have a lot of potential and that have therefore impacted the way furries have fun, interact, and of course contribute to the developing world of both personal and professional life. Let's hop in the first aspect I sometimes don't see the fun in. And I have to give you a disclaimer here. I call myself an old-fashioned person, not to say a cranky old donkey. Oh boy. Of course, what I find attractive or funny differs by a landslide from what the new wave or generation of new furries like or find entertaining. That being said, I proceed. I dislike beer chat and anything that has to do with virtual reality. Wait, let me explain myself. I find all this San Juniper kind of thing is too advanced for me. I was born in the 90s and it wasn't until I was 24 years old that I had my first decent computer. And by decent, I mean that can actually run something else apart from SimCity and The Sims 1. Alright, please, we listen but we don't judge. I met people in the past who would love to play this, and it takes a few minutes to join web pages like Twitch to see that the majority of our community has taken a lot of advantage from the VR world. And this is where the good aspect resides. Leaving aside my cranky attitude, seeing how a VR character can work for someone who knows the arts and the tricks of this technology shows the potential that it hides. I am an old schooler, and for me, embracing my character has to do with suiting up and going out, philosophy that I explained in a video from the past. However, a VR avatar allows you to embody your character easier and way cheaper than commissioning an actual fursuit, and of course it doesn't require the care and the uncomfort of wearing a full body costume. Of course, I'm talking from general terms here. The VR world and how it's being used for streaming and having fun is just the tip of the iceberg. During the 2020 lockdown, it was a safe space for many to interact and to feel less alone during a difficult time. And what's more, new technologies have been developed, like the Rantis mechanism, which allows to take physical and emotional movements of the body and transmit that into virtual reality response. I already talked about this topic in a very old video called Genesis of the Furry Fandom, in which I explain this in clearer detail. All in all, the VR world inside of the furry fandom is not only a space to have fun and innovate, but it is a place to find alternative ways to be yourself. However, and at least for me, it's something that I don't like exploring, or at least that I do not see any genuine preference in exploring. I think it's an acquired taste, and me, someone who can't even look at their phone in moving vehicles, the little interest and the motion sickness it gives seems reason enough, not to use it much. On a similar note, furry conventions are events where thousands gather to have fun, see long-distance friends, and make long-lasting memories. There are countless furry channels dedicated to recording con experiences and stories, which I like watching, but on the whole, a furry convention is something that I wouldn't like attending. Yes, I'm gonna talk about furry conventions. I swear, I do have fun sometimes, but it's not a general case. But again, see how it changes. A furry convention is something that I wouldn't like attending, but I am not saying I don't like them. The thing is, and this happens to me with many events in general, not just furry conventions, I don't find crowded places so comfortable to be in. I personally find booking hotels, flights, and traveling very stressful. So what I do, not to stress over a flight, over a trip, and over spending money on something I know I will not enjoy, is just stay home and watch it on a screen. The same happens with football matches, for example. I don't like going to the stadium, I just watch them at home. However, it would be really narrow-minded to say that a furry convention is a boring event. It's me who is boring. Okay, it's me who is boring. right? And I already know that. I am a terrible person to have fun with, but I know I am at peace with my own demons. A furry convention, at least for me, gives me stories to read on X, dance competition videos to watch during dinner or boring evenings at home, and of course, memes. Oh dude, the memes are the best part. So see that there is a good point, for me at least, to engage in furry conventions, but from the comfort of my own house. But on top of that, a furry convention is a world on its own. They are spaces where creators can sell their goods, where art is traded, and where many grow both emotionally and socially. Cultural exchanges are seen at their best. And on top of that, on top of everything, content can be created. I remember watching old furry YouTube videos where popular creators shared sweets, typical foods, and even reacted to the countries or the states they are visiting during that furry convention, like people gathering together and having the fun and the time of their lives. These aspects offer 3 days where you can disconnect from the stress of adult life and actually be yourself. Or at least that was the idyllic image I grew up with as a teenager when I listened to Foxes and Peppers during my college years. But if you ask me, traveling and being out of my house is something that I find very stressful. Traveling alone is something stressful for me. I don't like it. I prefer to cheer for my friends attending and just remain as an observer, as at the comfort and safety of my own apartment. Yeah, the cranky old fox experience. Last but definitely not least, have you thought about how popular furry raves have become? And no, don't think about me being an old cranky fox criticizing raves. I actually love partying, but this is my hot take on what we have been listening to lately. Yeah, the sounds of the fandom. Let's talk about the sounds of the fandom, the endless sea of furry electronic and dubstep rave beats and synthetic bleeps that seem to follow us everywhere we go. Now, don't get me wrong, I totally get the appeal. It's energetic, it's flashy, it's perfect for visiting and dancing. There's something really freeing about moving in a suit to a beat that doesn't stop, where lyrics don't really matter and the vibe takes over. I mean, just take a look at any dance competition video. It's not just music. It's athleticism, it's performance, and expression all in one. That's beautiful and it deserves a spotlight. So, from my point of view, I generally don't like electronic music on the whole, but I do get that people prefer that kind of music when they go dancing. And of course, the DJing and the people making that music, of course, find their niche in making money or a revenue from something that they love doing. But here's the thing, while bright DJing talents emerge, I can't help playing older furry musicians. Folks like, you know, Fox Amore or, wow, Sub-Level 03, ooh my gosh. Well, for a rock lover like me, I connect to those on a different emotional level. Meanwhile, today's rave and crazy party culture, while exciting, often feels impersonal. A bit too much about hype and not enough about heart. Again, my version of vibing involves hummy soundtracks and chilling indoors, not glow sticks and bass drops. Even if I have attended parties in the past, it's something that I don't generally like playing that much. But again, that's me. However, it would be unfair not to recognize how important this style of music is for the fandom. It's inclusive, it brings people together, it fills room with joy, and gives many furries a place to dance freely, sometimes for the first time in their lives, and that's no small thing. So, while I'm more likely to sway slowly to a guitar or a profound lyric than jump into a neon-lit con rave, I still admire what these musicians and DJs do, and I think it's wonderful that there's a soundtrack for every kind of furry out there, even if mine is set to something a little slower. Now, what do you think? These are 3 things that are very popular in the furry fandom, but that I don't prefer or that I don't generally find attractive. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Remember, these were just 3 things I don't particularly enjoy, but that are very common and very entertaining for the community in general. Do you have any others in mind? While I was writing this video, I also thought about, I don't know, the hypersocial and the parasocial, in a way, behavior of some furries, like everything has to go through the camera lens, something that didn't used to be like this in the past, but I see why some people might like it. It's something that I don't particularly find attractive or enjoyable. But anyways, tell me what those opinions are, the ones that you prefer, what they are in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and see you in the next one. Nya!